Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Darshini and nice meeting you. So today I have another video for you guys and this time it's going to be a guide for acrylic painting. So this time I'm going to be discussing the different types of water concentration you can do and basically all the do's and don'ts when it comes to acrylic painting and a few tips here and there. It's a really simple guide, but if you do want a detailed version of each topic or everything in general, do let me know. I'll make a video on that. And if you haven't seen the blending colors tutorial or the techniques tutorial, please make sure to watch that because that can really help you out with your blending skills as well. I'll link it down below. And quick reminder, like this video, comment down below, share and subscribe to this channel. So without any further ado, let's get on with the video.
Let's start off by mixing the paints together. So I'm just mixing the paints together just by that. I'm not adding any water to it, not yet. So, and I'm making like two different colors out of it. And now let's apply that colors with a little bit of dampness. Like I'm just going to dip my brush into the water and let's see how it's. So if you notice, there's a lot of let's say that there's a lot of strokes visible and it's not really opaque. Now this is because acrylic colors generally are a little translucent, meaning that they're not like fully opaque. So when you add a little more water to it, it obviously is going to become more translucent and not more like a watercolor vibe. And that's the reason I keep telling people don't use water that much, like unless your brush is like really dry to a point where the color is not you know the color is not going into the canvas, or if it's really dry enough to the brush which it's about to dry and the brush is going to get ruined, at that point yes, you can use water. But other than that, I don't recommend using water. And if you can see, I use a lot more water comparatively to the last time, and this is what I get. So it depends on what you want to do with acrylic paints. If you like how this looks, the look of this nice watery texture is what you want because you think it's more blendable, then you do it. It's fine. It's not, this is my opinion and my opinion only. So if you really want that look, you can go for it. It's fine. There's no right way to do acrylic, but because paints are just to explore different things. So yeah, so there are people who can make it work as well. So yeah, now this is the same thing but a less drier. Like I wipe the dampness off with a cloth. So this is how it looks, diluted yet dry brush. Yeah. Next, I'm gonna use dry paint, just paint and dry brush. This is what I usually use because I like my background a lot opaque as possible, because when I layer things on, I don't want it to look like really translucent and like really patchy. So this is what I do. And as I told you, you can do whatever you want. So let me teach you how to do these textures for trees. Okay, so for the trees, you should go pat the brush on the surface. So like how I'm doing it, go up and down and just pat it. So once you touch the surface, immediately take the brush above and do not touch the surface again. So basically this can be used for trees, grass, bushes, shrubs, literally anything like leafy and which is in a distance, because if it's really near to you, you might have to give in some detailing. But yeah, so basically you just have to go up and down, give it a pat, remove the brush from the surface, again touch the surface. So that's how you get this um, patchy look, like a leafy look. Or else if you drag the brush and pat like with the brush, then you're gonna get like a very blended blob together. That's how you're gonna end up with. You're not gonna get a leafy look, but you're gonna get a much blended kind of look, which we don't want when we do trees. So next I'm gonna show you these three types of brushes that I use. So two are synthetic and one is called the white brush, which is really hard to use. So this is the white brush, like white bristle brush. It is really hard to use, like it's really tough in a sense, the texture of it. But it's wonderful when it comes to giving textures like grass or literally anything else, or applying a base, because you cannot use this for blending colors or giving detailings. Do not, no, if people use this for blending or giving details, don't, no, you cannot do that, it doesn't work. So this is with another synthetic brush. um, so the same thing, I'm using the same technique as before, but I'm doing it a lot smoother this time, which means I'm dragging the brush on the canvas, I mean on the paper a little bit, because I don't want it that blotchy or that leafy, because this is grass and I want it to be a little, you know, a little damp or soft. So that's how I'm doing it. And yeah, here's the thing, you're gonna get the same thing, but notice how in synthetic brushes it's more blended, like it's more it's more blotched together. I mean it's not blotched together, it's more like mixed together. The texture is like really mixed together. Like if you see in the first one, you can see the bristles like little tiny, you know, stamp marks, but here the paint is just getting mixed. You don't have that white spaces in between. This is because synthetic brushes are usually for nice blending brushes. They are usually detailing brushes or anything else other than giving a lot of textures. Don't get me wrong, they do give textures if you use it in the right way. Like dry synthetic brushes can give you amazing textures. The whole point when it comes to textures is your brushes you use should be dry. So that's what you get with the white bristle brushes, because it's just dry in general. Even if you damp it, just a little bit of you know, you just have to wipe it on a cloth and then it will become dry again. So the same thing, the dry brushes give you textures. So yeah, I'm just showing you and I'm texting it out for you, like how. So that the last piece where I did that, it was from a dry brush, but the paint was a little damp. So you should figure out the ratios of dampness to the dryness that you want, so that you can get the picture that you imagine. So now, so now people usually make this huge mistake when it comes to drawing trees or branches. That is, they do not make the ends of each branch or a twig per se pointy enough. Like if you see in the video, I've made each and every ending pointing towards the branches. It's really pointy. Now this is because when the twig or the stick gets towards the end, it becomes thinner and thinner, and hence it gives you a more movement in the picture. Like it's a cool transition from the branches to the leaves, and it gives you a nice, you know, effect in the picture. But if you do it like how I'm doing in the right, there's there's not a lot of movements, because one, the generally sticks do not have the same width throughout, and it looks really artificial, like, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like, okay, it's just drawn on. It does not give a lot of movement to the picture, it's just there. But on the left hand side, if you can see, it's just like blending in with the branches, the leaves, there's a lot going on, but it looks elegant at the same time. So that's one thing I see a lot of people do wrong, and I just wanted to address it. Okay, so the next thing is something people ask me the most. So, when it comes to drawing landscapes or generally anything, how do you make an object or a landscape look distant from the starting point? So, basically, what you have to do is first give vibrant colors in the start, and then as you go for backward and backward and backward, make it lighter and less paler. Okay, and plus when it's in the starting point, you will have to give a lot of detailing to the subject comparatively to the last. So if you can see the um, video now, you might see that I'm doing that, patting thing to give the grasses a lot more texture in the front. But as I'm going backwards, I'm not doing that. Which means, what I mean by backwards is when I'm going towards the end. Generally, ends meet at one point. So, therefore, that's the reason why I just left a little swatch there. There's no lot of paint there, it's just a tiny line. Because when it goes to a distance, all you see is a little line or something which you barely can see. So that's the reason we are trying to create that illusion, and that's what you're supposed to do. In the front, that is in the starting, if you see, the colors are vibrant, and when it went back, I added white to make it a lot paler. Now, this is what you'll get if you just put one basic color and you call it a day. So basically, if you just use like one color and call it a day, that is what you're going to get, like the right side one. And now that is something we don't want. So, like, again, coming to the left side, if you can see, I'm not giving a lot of details there. Like, I'm not giving the texture that I gave in the front, which is the large part. Always the front or the picture's starting point is where you will see the most width. Always remember that. And now what happens if you over detail it? Now that is in the extreme, right? If you can see, I'm detailing the first part as the second part too. Like, I'm giving the same amount of detailing everywhere. Now this does not get the picture any further, it just brings it closer. So if you want to distance the last piece of land, then make it a lot paler, and towards the end make it a lot thinner and whiter. Now for the skies, uh, um, so one of the common mistakes I've seen when it comes to skies is some people started with a light color and then to a darker color. But so the right way to do is this: the top part of the sky should always be darker, and hence making the bottom part or the down part a lot lighter than the top. So this is one common mistake I've seen. So I mean, I also see this huge mistake when it comes to clouds, that people draw clouds in a round circular way, like, how they draw. um, I'll make sure to drop another video for that, especially because I think I cannot cover it in a single video. So stay tuned for that. Um, so yeah, the next thing I'm gonna be showing you is an actual landscape where I show you how to distance the mountains. More not like how to, but what makes the mountain a lot distant. So the first is the do. Now if you can see, like I told you before, the detailing, the textures come in the front, which is the bottom line, because that's when you start seeing the closest part of the object should always be a lot detailed and vibrant as it goes backwards and backwards and backwards, which means top or like, you know, not from the bottom line to the up, it should become lighter or paler, or there shouldn't be a lot of vibrant colors to it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm adding white to make it a lot paler. Adding white is one of the best things you can do to make something distant. Or you should use the background color. So if you can see, I've drawn something like a mountain. This is not the best illustration of a landscape, but I'm just showing you how to make it distant. So yeah, the mountains are visible because they are darker than the last point of grass, but they are yet a lot lighter. And if I had a background, I would most likely blend it out with the background to give that totally distant look. Now let's see what happens if I add flat colors. I give the same amount of detailing to the mountains as well as the grass in the front, and it just looks like a terrible piece of art. And I think we can all agree on that. So that is it for today's video. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's one last picture of it, and let me know what else I should do.
Alright, you guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this video, if you wanted a much simpler video or a detailed video or any other topics you would like for me to cover, and if you made it all the way through, thank you so much, appreciate it, and I'll link my socials down below so you can go check that out and show some love. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Make sure to check this video out, or subscribe. Bye guys.